Hello again, everyone. Marcus here. I review stuff. Today, I'm reviewing the song Something I Can Never Have by Nine Inch Nails. This song is part of my ongoing series where I'm listening to songs that come from albums that are on Rolling Stone magazine's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. The way the series works is I'll listen to two, maybe three songs from each album. I'll do, a video for those songs, and then I'll go and listen to the rest of the album just on my own, and I'll come back and let you know what I thought. And so this song comes off of the album Pretty Hate Machine by Nine Inch Nails, which was released by TVT in 1989. Wow, I didn't know it was in the 80s. I could have sworn this was like a 90s or 2000s album. It shows how much I know. Anyway, which is number 453 on the list. And so, I have heard a few songs off of this album just because it was played. A few of them were played on like rock radio, right? So if it was played on rock radio in the 2000s or in the 90s, there's a good chance that I know it, right? And so I've heard songs like Head Like a Hole. I want to say Down In It is on this one as well. I want to say, there's one I'm forgetting that was also on the radio. It'll come back to me when I'm not even thinking about it. But yeah, I've heard a few songs from this album and from Nine Inch Nails in general. But again, the extent of my knowledge of Nine Inch Nails does not extend past whatever made it onto rock radio. So anyway, about the album, Rolling Stone says, the music I always liked as a kid was stuff I could bum out to and realize, hey, someone else feels that way too, Trent Reznor said in 1990. If someone can do that with my music, it's mission accomplished. Led by the hit Head Like a Hole, which honestly is probably my favorite Nine Inch Nails song, if I'm being totally honest. Nine Inch Nails' debut album took bleak Midwestern goth industrial disco to the rock masses, a move that would shape pop culture just as much as Nirvana's Nevermind did. When Reznor sang "Gray would be the color if I had a heart" on Something I Can Never Have, which we're listening to today, millions felt his pain. So, kind of going in expecting a not too happy song, but regardless, let's go ahead and jump into it. Again, this is Nine Inch Nails' Something I Can Never Have off of Pretty Hate Machine. Let's do it. Also, I just remembered the other song I heard from them, Terrible Lie, because there it is. I've heard Terrible Lie, I've heard Head Like a Hole and Down In It, for sure. Anyway, let's do it.
Still recall the taste of your tears, echoing your voice just like the ringing in my ears. My favorite dreams of you still wash ashore, scraping through my head till I don't wanna sleep anymore. You make this all go away. You make this all go away. I'm down to just one thing, and I'm starting to scare myself. You make this all go away. You make this all go away. I just want something. I just want something I can never have. You always were the one In this place, it seems like such a shame. Though it all looks different now, I know it's still the same. Everywhere I look, you're all I see. Just a fading fucking reminder of who I used to be. Come on, tell me you make this all go away. You make this all go away. I'm down to just one thing, and I'm starting to scare myself. You make this all go away. You make it all go away. I just want something. I just want something I can never have. I just want something I can never have.
Okay. Yeah. Again, I've heard a few songs by Nine Inch Nails before. But that one, it's both kind of what I expect from them, but also a part of them that I don't typically listen to very much. And what I mean is, I definitely do appreciate songs like Down in It or Head Like a Hole a lot more. I think, they're more like faster paced, industrial sounding music. Whereas I've never really tended to gravitate towards their much slower, darker, sort of slow burn side like this song is. And so this is one of those that I'm like, I can see the musical talent and I can see some of the things I like about Nine Inch Nails in there. But it's one of those that it's like, it's it's not 100% for me. I feel like, and it's one of those songs that I have a hard time getting through personally. And so when we get to like replay value, for example, I'm like, it just, I don't know if it's one of those songs I want on my playlist, just because it's one of those that it definitely brings you down, right? And as the Rolling Stone article said, like, or the little entry said, for some people, like, people have felt that pain. People kind of identify with that. And there are definitely some people who, that's their favorite song, and I can see why. There's some definitely good pieces in there. But just for me, it's like, it's one of those that I just have a hard time getting through. So anyway, let's break the song down piece by piece like we always do, of course, starting with those lyrics. So I do want to read the About section here as well. It says, Something I Can Never Have is the fifth track on Nine Inch Nails' 1989 debut album, Pretty Hate Machine. It's a song about lost love and missed chances. An extended and edited version was used in the movie soundtrack for Natural Born Killers. I don't think I've ever seen that, which was produced by Trent Reznor. This OST version also samples dialogue and sound effects from the movie. I wonder if that's what we heard. I don't know. A stripped-down version was released in the 2002 studio album Still from the double album And All That Could Have Been, aka Halo 17, featuring Trent Reznor on piano and former Nine Inch Nails drummer Jerome Dillon on guitar. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to take a quick look at the track listing. Head Like a Hole, Terrible Lie, Down in It, heard all three of those. Haven't heard Sanctify. We kind of jumped over that to do Something I Can Never Have, and I think that's it. Look, I don't recognize any of these other track titles. So anyway, let's look at those lyrics. I still recall the taste of your tears echoing your voice, just like the ringing in my ears. My favorite dreams of you still wash ashore, scraping through my head till I don't want to sleep anymore. So yeah, it definitely sounds to me like heartbreak, like missing someone, losing someone. You make this all go away, you make this all go away. I'm down to just one thing, and I'm starting to scare myself. You make this all go away. You make this all go away. I just want something. I just want something I can never had. When he says he's kind of down to one thing, to me it's like, essentially, like, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing everything. Like, I have nothing left, essentially. Like, I'm down to just one thing, as in, like, I'm barely holding on by a thread, that kind of thing. And for me, I feel like the something I can never have is just that relationship, whatever it is, whether it was romantic, familial, platonic, that kind of thing. But like, regardless of how it ended as well, like he wants that relationship again, but he knows he can never have it. Um, you always were the one to show me how. Back then, I couldn't do the things that I can do now. This thing is slowly taking me apart. Gray would be the color if I had a heart. Come on, tell me. And so, yeah, obviously, like this person enriched his life, right? So, again, losing that person has hurt a whole lot. You make this all go away. You make this all go away. I'm starting to scare myself. I'm down to just one thing and I'm starting to scare myself. You make this all go away. I just want something I can never have. In this place, it seems like such a shame. Though it all looks different now, I know it's still the same. Everywhere I look, you're all I see. Just a fading fucking reminder of who I used to be. Come on and tell me. So yeah, sees this person and everything, and it sort of reminds them of who they used to be. Although who they used to be is not as good as who they are now, which I find interesting. But still, that thought of like you're part of who I used to be, and you're no longer around, right? So you make this all go away. You make this all go away. I'm down to just one thing, and I'm starting to scare myself. You make this all go away. I just want something. I just want something I can never have. Yeah, I mean lyrically, I think it's well written. It definitely gets the point across, right? The point of the heartache, the pain that he's feeling, the pain of a lost relationship. Again, regardless of how it ended or regardless of what kind of relationship it was, I think he definitely gets that message across. And it's written in such a way that I think, yes, it could be a romantic relationship, it could be a friendship, could be a family member. And again, out of those three, it could also be a breakup. It could be someone dying, right? It could just be someone who no longer wants to be part of their life, that kind of thing. So it's like it's written generally enough that you could apply this to a lot of different situations, but it's also written well enough that it's like the pain is very evident, and so you can sort of ascribe your own pain to that. As they said in the Rolling Stone magazine article there, like, yeah, a lot of people resonated with those lyrics for that reason, right? Because it was broad enough to really speak to a lot of people's pain. So I think lyrically it's super well written. I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up there. As far as instrumentation and vocals go, I will say I really enjoyed the piano throughout, right? Just that constant like melody that you get from start to finish. I'll kind of play it again here. This melody, it hooks you right in. And it's a very dark and almost creepy melody. It reminds me of like something you would hear in a horror movie, right? But you get that melody throughout the entire song. So no matter what else is happening, again, with some of those sound effects, the industrial sounds, like you had that constant melody, and it kind of grounds you in the song, which I thought was a very smart move. I think what I think a lot of people know Trent Reznor for nowadays is of course Nine Inch Nails, but a lot of his work as a composer, right? And I can see how this sort of music that he makes here with Nine Inch Nails could lead him off to be a very successful composer. At first, when I saw that Trent Reznor was composing for things like Disney's Pixar's Soul or whatever, right? Is that the name of this the movie Soul? I forget. But he was like one of the music producers there. What's the word I'm looking for? Composer. Thank you. The composer there. And it was kind of funny, like, oh, Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails as a composer. But when you listen to a lot of the Nine Inch Nails music, it's like, oh, that makes sense. He understands using like melodies and motifs to really set the stage and to really kind of set the mood as well. Like this was a very dark feeling song from start to finish. And then honestly, I think there were a lot of moments where I really enjoyed his voice. I'm like, I don't remember him necessarily having like a really great voice, just because again, some of my favorite Nine Inch Nails songs are sort of dark and fast paced in nature, and you're not really necessarily paying attention to how his voice sounds all the time, just sort of the intensity behind it and the intensity behind the song. But here I felt like he had a really nice voice. The piano was beautiful. I think everything like sounded really good. There were a couple of times when I feel like the sort of the other sound effects going on took away from my enjoyment of the music itself. But for the most part, I thought it was a very well put together, well made song. So for that, I'm going to give it a thumb up. Now here's where it gets weird, because obviously I've given this a few thumbs up at this point. Overall, I've spoken about it positively, but does it make the playlist? What's the replay value for me? For me, the replay value here is super low. Although I can I can recognize that this is a very well made and well put together song. And there's a lot of pieces that I like. It's just one of those songs that's super dark and sort of hard to get through. And I feel like if you're in the right headspace, this is exactly the song for you. If you're feeling that sort of pain, sometimes music can speak to you in that way that not necessarily amplifies your pain, but like when you hear that someone else has gone through that same pain, it's almost comforting, right? I feel like in my day to day, I'm not typically in that mood, which I guess I'm blessed enough to be able to say. And so for me to put this on my just kind of everyday playlist, I feel like it would kind of bring me down. So as far as replay value goes for me, I'm gonna just give it a thumb down. Not because it's a bad song, but because I don't really see myself listening to it very much after today, unless again I am just in that mood. I am just so down that I need that connection with someone else who has gone through the shit. But like it's like, man, it's one of those that is a little bit too dark for me, which is definitely saying something. But and again, other people may feel differently, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. So anyway, still a great song, still another great entry into this series that I'm doing. I was actually kind of looking forward to this one because what I really enjoyed about the series is that one, it introduces me to music that I haven't necessarily heard too much of, artists that I've never actually stopped and listened to. But two, it's caused me to go back to artists that I've only heard the singles from, like this band, for example, and actually listen to their more, wider discography. So I've really enjoyed that about this series, and I hope you guys are too. So, as always, if you enjoyed the music, go support the artists, go listen to their music wherever you can. And if you enjoy what you saw here with me today, consider just, supporting the channel, doing all the normal stuff you do on YouTube. Like and subscribe and comment with your requests because I'm always taking those. You can even check the description if you'd like to follow me on Twitch, TikTok, or Instagram. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.